I read his journal. I wasn't the girl he loved. It started on a rainy Sunday afternoon, the kind where the sky weeps gently and everything feels quieter than usual. My boyfriend, Liam, had gone out to run errands, and I stayed behind in his apartment, curled up with a book and a mug of tea. We'd been dating for a little over a year. The kind of relationship where comfort had replaced butterflies, but I didn't mind. I thought comfort meant safety, stability, real love. While tidying up the bookshelf, I noticed a small leather-bound notebook tucked behind some old novels. It wasn't hidden exactly, just out of sight. Curiosity tugged at me, like a child pulling on a sleeve. I hesitated. It could have been a journal, a diary, something private. But we shared everything, didn't we? I turned it over in my hands, still warm from the radiator beneath the shelf. There was no lock, no label, just Liam's familiar. The entries began months before we met. He wrote about work, his struggles with anxiety, how much he hated living in the city. Then came a name, Elena. My stomach tightened. I saw her again today. She was wearing that red scarf I bought her, even though she swore she'd burned everything from our past. Maybe she didn't burn it all. Maybe she didn't burn me. I blinked, rereading the line. Who was Elena? He had never mentioned her, not once. I kept reading, each word, a small dagger pressed a little deeper. I wonder if she still thinks of me when she's with him. I still dream about the way she laughed when she got tipsy, like the world was hers. It used to be ours. Entry after entry, Liam poured his soul onto the pages. Not about me, not about us, but about her. A woman with fire in her smile and ghosts in her eyes. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. You can't look away, even when you know how it ends. Then came the entry from the week we first met. Met someone new today. Her name's Anna. She seems sweet, the kind who brings calm into a storm. Maybe I need that now. Maybe if I hold her long enough, the parts of me that loved Elena will finally let go. I froze. So I was a distraction, a soft landing. Not the woman he chose, but the one he used to forget someone else. The next few entries were worse. Small things, how I laughed too quietly, how I didn't understand his music the way she did, how I didn't challenge him, didn't burn bright enough. He never said it to my face, never even hinted. "Hey, babe," Liam said, shaking the rain from his coat. "You good?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired." He kissed my forehead, and for the first time, I felt cold. That night, I didn't sleep. I watched him from across the bed, the way his chest rose and fell, the faint crease between his eyebrows even in rest. And I wondered, had he ever looked at me and seen me? Or had he always been staring through me, searching for someone else? The next morning, I was still quiet. He noticed. Of course he did. But I lied, said it was work stress. Inside, something had cracked. Not a break, not yet, but a shift. A realization that love, no matter how gentle, cannot survive in the shadow of another. I wasn't sure what to do. I still loved him, or at least I thought I did. But now, love felt contaminated, tied up with doubt and disappointment. I spent the day walking the city, retracing the places we used to go together. Every corner, suddenly, felt like a stage, and I couldn't help but wonder, had he ever brought her here too? By evening, I knew I couldn't let it go. I went back to the journal. This time, I read everything. The final pages of Liam's journal read like a slow funeral for our relationship. She's good to me, better than I deserve. But it's not the same. It's not Elena. I keep waiting for that spark to catch. But maybe some fires don't reignite. Maybe some just leave you burnt. That sentence stayed with me all night. Burnt. I wasn't a lover. I was a recovery plan. The next morning, I sat at his kitchen table with the journal in front of me. I didn't slam it down dramatically. I didn't scream or cry. I just waited. When Liam came into the room, rubbing sleep from his eyes, he stopped cold when he saw it. "You read it," he said quietly. I did. He swallowed hard, unsure whether to sit or stand, to reach for me or retreat. "I didn't want you to find it," I noticed. My voice didn't even tremble. But I did, and now I can't unknow what I know. Liam sat down across from me. "Anna, it's not what you think." "Don't." I cut him off gently. "Don't say it's not what I think. You wrote it. Every word. And none of it was for me." He dropped his gaze, fingers tapping nervously on the table. "I thought maybe it would fade," he murmured. "I thought if I loved you long enough, deeply enough, Elena would stop haunting me." "Was I supposed to be your exorcism?" I asked, not unkindly. "A spell to break the curse?" "I didn't mean to use you." His voice cracked. "You are so kind, so stable, so everything Elena never was. Then why do I feel like a substitute teacher, standing in for the real thing?" He winced. Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. "I'm not her," I said finally. "I know that, but I also deserve more than being second place in someone's heart." "You're not second," he said quickly. "You're just different." "Different isn't the issue, Liam. Unloved is." His eyes welled up, and for a second I almost softened. But then I remembered how he wrote about me, about my laugh being quiet, about how I didn't challenge him, how he missed the fire. Not once did he describe me as someone he couldn't live without. And now I didn't want to be with someone who had to try to love me. "I think you need time," I said gently. "Not just time away from me, but time with yourself, to really figure out what you want. Because if you're still writing love letters to a ghost, you're not ready for a future with the living." He nodded slowly, tears sliding down his cheeks. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I know," I said, "and maybe one day we'll be able to look at each other without this weight. But today's not that day. I packed my things that afternoon. It didn't feel like a breakup in the dramatic movie sense. No shouting, no begging. Just two people who had stopped pretending they were on the same page. Literally. As I zipped the last bag, Liam walked me to the door. "I did care about you," he said softly. "I know, but I want someone who doesn't have to choose to love me. I want someone who just does." He didn't argue. He knew he couldn't give me that. Weeks passed. I moved back into my old place, surrounded by silence and space and unfamiliar freedom. The nights were hardest, when the bed felt too big and my chest felt too tight. But slowly, the ache dulled. Not because I found someone new, but because I found me again. One afternoon, I pulled out my own journal. I hadn't written in it in months. Maybe I'd been too happy or too distracted to notice that my voice had gone quiet. This time, I wrote not about Liam, not about Elena, but about myself, my fears, my hopes, my refusal to ever again be someone's maybe. Because love shouldn't be a consolation prize. It should be wild, certain, free. It should be the kind of love that never needs to be written in secret pages.